Hello and welcome to another DealershipNews.com podcast. I'm Kelly Kleiman here as I am each week with another Who's Happening in the automotive industry. It's foot soldiers, visionaries, salesmen, GMs, owners, service managers, and industry vendors alike. The co-founder of a rapidly growing online automobile auction platform, I should say automotive auction platform, with a heck of a lot to look forward to is who we have today. The company is Carwave, and our guest is Mr. John Lauer. John, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Kelly. A pleasure to be with you.
A pleasure to have you. So your foray into the automotive industry is an interesting one. You started out with a small little startup called Microsoft. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and what led you into the automotive industry?
Sure. Just real briefly, I've always loved technology. I started working for Microsoft in 1991 and ended up, having a career there that eventually led me to be the vice president of the Asia Pacific region. Then I actually left Microsoft for 4 years and went back to school and got a degree in computer science. And it just kind of showing my interest in technology. Also, I had a chance to, work at the highest levels of Microsoft and was frustrated that I didn't have deeper technical knowledge. So I went back to school and got a degree in computer science, and I went back to Microsoft for 3 years. And then I left, kind of retired from the company at the end of 2006. And make a long story short, I was down in California visiting my family, and one of my youngest brothers told me what he was doing. He had started an independent dealership in 1994, and he thought there were a lot of opportunities to help bring efficiency into the auto remarketing space. And so it sounded interesting to me, and so we built a prototype, and I went out and visited about 60 dealers, and things took off from there, and we actually launched the first version of our product in January of 2010.
There's a number of online auto auctions out there right now, including ACV, TradeRev, and such. What's your value proposition and comparison to the aforementioned competitors?
Okay, good question. Well, first of all, I would say it's very early days still. In fact, it reminds me a lot of, when I was with Microsoft in the early days, when the big Goliaths were, IBM and mainframes and DEC mini computers were controlling a lot of the IT infrastructure for corporations. And then, the PCs were these little toys that, didn't initially look like they would be much. And then eventually there was the big wave, and the whole PC revolution took place. And I would say, similarly to what's happening in the remarketing space right now, there's about 11 plus million whole car sales going through brick and mortar auctions right now. And so, there's a lot of hype in the news, and we're, proud to be a part of the change and innovation that's taking place, but it's still very early days. And, there's a ton of work to be done. In terms of our value proposition versus some of the other players, I think first and foremost is, our team really understands the needs of dealerships. And when I say dealerships, I mean both franchise dealerships and independent dealerships. And in terms of the actual online auctions, there's a couple things that we do that are unique. First of all, our inspections are done by ASE certified mechanics. So we really spend time finding people who have deep car knowledge and aren't just picture takers. And so then we, using some technology we built and using very high-level scanners, they do a thorough review of the car, take it for a full test drive, go through all the gears, use the scanners to pull the codes, and then do, a thorough inspection on all the reconditioning needs for the cars. So I think it really starts there. That's what gives independent dealers the confidence to buy online. We started selling trade-ins in 2014, and I can tell you those first 9 months, 10 months, everyone was like, I need to see the car, kick the tires myself. I can't buy a trade-in vehicle online. And so it really starts from there. So I would say that's the biggest value of our company is really letting buyers know what they're going to get, and that has a waterfall effect of then bringing strong money to franchise dealerships who are our sellers on our system. And then lastly, because we're built like an online company from the ground up, we're able to do it without charging any sell fees to the franchise dealerships.
Well, you touched on a few, but if you could explain to us some of the challenges of growing a business such as this. Is it the technology, finding good personnel and management, keeping a friendly, positive culture, interfacing with used and new car dealers? Where are the challenges? I know there are plenty, but where are the biggest ones for you?
Well, I would say it's, if I were to describe it, it would be herding cats. And that's, the dealership industry, automobile dealership industry is highly fragmented. There's about 17,000 plus franchise dealerships across the United States. And depending on what data you look at, 40,000 to 55,000, 60,000 independent dealers in all makes and sizes. And so just getting all of them to understand, what's happening, how the marketplace is moving, there's a lot of work involved in doing that. And so, we make sure that we hire people who really love, the automobile industry and love looking out for the best interests of both the independent dealers and the franchise dealerships. So finding great people, is always the biggest challenge, but that's what gives you long-term success. When you look at what we're actually doing, it's all about people. Our software is built by engineers, so you have to hire really, really good software engineers. And then, communication of what our system can do. You need to hire great salespeople. You need to have great inspectors. You need to have great back office people who, after the car is sold, get the car transported quickly and then handle payments and titles in an expedited manner. So it really comes down to people, and that would be a whole other segment on all the tips and tricks, to find and hire great people. I think one thing that's helped us is now that we really have some momentum and we're doing something innovative, it's allowed us to really go after high caliber talent.
That's interesting that you mentioned that. It is subject for another conversation. We're actually very active right now in putting together a jobs board for the automotive industry that's automotive talent specific. There is nothing like it out there. Maybe have a conversation between you and I at some point here very soon. You actually just answered
Sure.
my next question. I can appreciate that. What kind of talent positions are you looking to fill? But let's switch gears just very slightly, because you did touch on that. Where is the company right now in regards to coverage, manpower, and then you do have an exciting plan to expand? What is that?
Well, right now we are in California and just hired a team in Arizona. Just to give you a sense of our scale, last year we sold 35,000 vehicles in California. In 2014, January of 2014, we sold 0. So, we've come a long ways, and it's really getting now into that hockey stick, exponential growth period. One advantage of having other competitors come into the marketplace is, now there's a lot of buzz around what we're doing, and sellers, franchise dealerships have the confidence to sell using our platform, and independent dealerships, have the confidence to buy. So we're in California right now. Just hired a team in Arizona. Then we're going into Nevada and then Washington, Oregon. I was actually kind of in stealth mode, not wanting to, create a lot of PR around what we were doing, because we were excited about what we were doing and thought we were bringing really good innovation, and wanted to really get it dialed in, and make sure we had, all the secret sauce dialed in to make this a successful product. And we think we have it dialed in now. Of course, dealers are always giving us, suggestions. So, we're always good listeners. But now it's really just about us pushing for additional growth.
It's so true. You get so much good intelligence from the foot soldiers, the dealers. We have conversations with GMs and salespeople every day. we can't get enough good information from them because it allows us to fashion our approach, to serving their needs as well on a regular basis. So are there any kinds of specific vendors that you seek relationships with to help you grow your company and provide resources or even a value-added proposition on any level?
Well, we've integrated with, for example, payment of vehicles. We've integrated with NextGear. Independent dealers have NextGear as a flooring company. So it's kind of one of those, I would say, co-opetition, would be the term that we use in the technology industry, where we're competing at one level and cooperating at another level. So I would say that would be a classic example of someone we're partnering with. Of course, Carfax, when people are looking at, dealers are looking at cars and they want to know, what the Carfax information is. So we've integrated with them. I've integrated with Kelley Blue Book, which is real popular on the West Coast in terms of valuation. So, we both cooperate and compete. The thing to really be obsessed about is customers. And so, we're not religious about, we don't want to work with this person just because they may be competing in some areas. We really want to be obsessed with, hey, what do the customers need? And, long term, if you're looking out for what's best for them, that allows the business to grow. And it's not a zero-sum game. I mean, this is a pie that's getting bigger. Every month there's more and more moving online. And so, there's plenty of business for everyone. It's really a matter of coming up with the best solution that meets the customer's needs.
Are you able to provide real-time pricing from region to region? For example, if I'm in Minnesota, my Jetta might not be worth bupkis, but in Los Angeles, it's an item that perhaps everybody in the world wants. And so the value might not be $5,000 for a used Jetta, but it might be $7,500, $8,000 in Los Angeles. How does that work as far as pricing is concerned?
Okay, no, that's a good question. So we don't have a real-time pricing tool. What we do is we have MMR, so Manheim Market Report Values, and we have Kelley Blue Book, and that's specific to the West Coast, as those are the ones that are really used. And then there's some great tools out there. I talk about competitors, but vAuto has a very good pricing tool, and that's become very popular in the marketplace. So I think at this point we haven't found a need to develop our own pricing tool. I think there's already some really good tools out there, and dealerships are already using. So it's for us, it's a matter of integrating and simple stuff like easy for them to copy and paste the VIN into their vAuto system to see what the current marketplace looks like.
Okay, yeah, I understand that. So now I do. Where are you going to be in 5 years? Where is John Lauer going to be in 5 years, and where do you see the company being in 5 years?
Well, I'd say they're one and the same thing. So my brother and I founded the company, like I said, in 2009. We started building software, launched in 2010. Then we moved into the trade-in marketplace where so initially we started just selling aged frontline vehicles for franchise dealerships. And so that's how we established a really good base there. Then 2014 moved into trade-in. So that's been 5 years. And so for both me and our company, my brother and I, and the whole team of people, I mean, we have over 100 people in the company now, and we're very excited about where this industry is going and the part that we're playing. So 5 years, I'll still be here, and we'll be talking about, a much larger company at that point, as long as we continue, to deliver great value to our customers.
Those are words well spoken. I really appreciate that sentiment for certain, and I wish you all the luck in the world. The company is Carwave, and our guest was, and I guess still is, Mr. John Lauer. John, thanks so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
No problem. My pleasure, Kelly. Thank you.
And we'll be in touch. Meanwhile, it's Friday afternoon. It's about time for me to check out here. DealershipNews.com's podcast is signing off. I'm Kelly Kleiman. Have a great weekend.